I was raised in a mixture of Christianity and the lifestyles of drug addiction, gang violence. It was terrible. The first memory I have of drug use, I was about 5 or 6 years old, and my father had me hold his arm so that he could find a vein with his syringe. And I remember knowing that if I caused him to miss his shot of dope, that I would get backhanded or I would get hit. He loved me in the best that he could love me, but his perception of what a man was tainted by addiction. So I would be torn between being forced to go to church and forced to learn how to pray, forced to be around a fellowship of believers, and then the other side of me was the lifestyle that my dad had me rooted in. Needless to say, I followed in his footsteps. I became an active drug user. I became an active gang member in a city that's nationally known for gang violence. At 14 years old, I was incarcerated. There I became highly active, as far as gang activity. I was released at 16 into a treatment center, which at that time I didn't really understand I had a drug problem. My heavy drug use didn't come till later on. I've spent my life in the grip of addiction, searching for the next drug that could fix my feelings. I was completely hopeless. I was a victim of sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse. And, that was a hard pill to swallow because I was trying to live up to the image that my father wanted me to be. And so I was constantly in question of who I was. And I was always trying to prove that I was tougher, that I was bigger. And so I spent my life in and out of prison. 2014, I got arrested for my last time. And I had been up so long on the drugs that I was disoriented, I was discombobulated, I passed out in a car in the middle of nowhere with a substantial amount of drugs in my lap. I woke up to the sheriff's office beating on the window of the car. And I thought when I got arrested, that last time, that sense of hopelessness and dread, like I had literally given up. I knew that if I couldn't get accepted into a treatment center, that there was absolutely no way that I could beat the drug charge that I had pending. I got accepted into a treatment center, so despite a plethora of self-imposed disadvantages, the fact that I'm a felon, the fact that I'm a person on parole, the fact that I'm a former gang member with a gang file as thick as a kitchen table, the fact that I spent my life addicted to drugs, the fact that I had went through all these different fires, I had no idea that it was God working, that I would come out of each of those fires a refined version of myself, be the best version that I ever could have been. Today I have an amazing life. I have a wife, a wonderful wife that is my rock. She has truly been a gift from God. I have 2 very awesome children. I've got a life today and I get to live it on purpose. I've went on to become the first felon in the state of Arkansas to work for the state. The governor had to sign off on my background. I've recently formed what we call a peer recovery response team that will be going into the high schools and the colleges, sharing their experience with drug abuse. My church, I think, teaches me the leadership that I need. I'm a leader and point man. I actually get to lead and co-lead with my cousin, Jacob Phillips, which is amazing. So I'm rooted by my family at that church. It's amazing, the transformation that's happened. I couldn't do it without my church. I couldn't do it without my fellowship. I couldn't do it without my recovery community. It really did take a village with me. I needed some of everybody to help me learn to live because my perception of what living life was completely twisted. It's nothing short of a miracle, I'm gonna be honest with you. How else do you take a 6-time loser on top of the juvenile incarcerations, the parole, and put him in a state office? That's all God. They had to update policies to hire me. That is all God. There is no man-made reason for me to be alive and to be sitting here as a successful, productive member of society other than God had a plan this entire time.